It's Duhop here, the most electrifying man on YouTube entertainment, and well, I am getting it moving. That's right, I am out the door, leaving the house right now, headed out GTS Wrestling. But as I was in the house and I was getting all ready, Mom was watching the television, and well, you know, it comes to me now, after watching that there television with Mom, she was watching the news, that today is 20 years of the September 11th terrorist attacks in New York City and at the Pentagon and whatnot. And it kind of blew my mind. Like, I knew that was coming last year when it was 19-year anniversary, but 20 years, that's a chunk of time. So I got to moving in my brain and remembering back about where I was 20 years ago. I was working at a music store. I was obese. I actually was on a plane September 10th, came home, landed at Newark, New Jersey, got about 2 hours of sleep, woke up, went to work, and heard about the attacks. I landed in the middle of the night. My flight was scheduled for September 11th out of Georgia back to New Jersey or Newark. And had I been on that flight, I would have been stuck in midair when the attacks happened. Crazy to think about. I was 20 years old, and those attacks scared the living daylights out of me that I didn't step foot on another plane for 11 years. Whew. That's crazy to think about. Either way, that's what got me moving. I want to talk to everybody else. I want to know their experience. I want to know where they were, how old they were, how they felt, and maybe their family members affected. I want to know all about it. I'm getting to move into GTS Wrestling. I'm going to talk to some of the guys about it, and we will find out just how 9/11 has affected them 20 years since the attack. Well, I've just made it to GTS, and well, right, hey,
how you doing?
Pump the brakes, woo,
Hello,
woo,
how
woo.
you doing? How you
It's
doing?
Lucky Leo. How are you? Are you ready for GTS action?
I'm pretty good, brother. I'm ready. I'm always ready, brother.
Pump the brakes, woo, 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 because you know what today is.
What's that?
Today is 9/11. We are remembering 20 years.
20 years.
20 years. So listen real quick, all right? Because there's a couple of people. I want to talk to a bunch of them, all right? First off, I'm 40. I was 20 years old. How old were you 20 years ago?
8 years old.
8 years old. All right, so do you actually have a memory of like where you were when you heard the news? Because Twitter wasn't popping off, all right, 20 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
With news and updates and whatnot of what's going on in the world. Do you remember? At 8 years old?
Yeah, I was in the library of my school, actually. I used to live in Jersey City over there. So right across the Hudson, I actually saw the smoke. I saw everything. Got taken out of school.
Was any of your family ever affected?
And my dad was actually supposed to get a job there 2 weeks before that, but he didn't get it. So thank God he didn't.
Some things happen for a reason, man. That
Exactly.
is crazy. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a tale, and we are remembering 9/11. Thank you for your love.
Oh, you're welcome.
Right
brother.
there. I'm going to go
Thank
find
you.
somebody else. Thanks. Appreciate it, buddy. Catch you soon. You, over here. Come here. What was your name again?
Isaac.
Oh, that's right, Isaac. How are you? We've had our differences, Mr. Anti-Grim, all right? But that's not what we are here for today, all right? Because today, do you know what today is? You hear those sirens? Do you know what today is? Today is 9/11, sir. We are 20 years removed, all right? So let me ask you a question, because I know you are a younging. What were you doing 20 years ago?
I wasn't born. I'm only 19.
Holy fucking shit! You weren't even alive yet!
I was born in 2002.
All right, so I can't ask you where you were when you heard the news, okay? But I can ask you, was any of your family affected?
I'm not sure. I don't think so, though.
Yeah. Well, obviously you would know if somebody had cancer due to the effects of 9/11 or somebody died based of it. I feel like you would know that. These terrorist attacks 20 years ago. All right, well, either way, good to catch up. There it is. The difference. I was 20 years old. Lucky Leo was 8. He wasn't even alive. Talk to you later. I love it. I love it. I found my fat little buddy. It's Grim.
Where is he? I want to meet him.
Dude, he gets these jokes from our grandfather. That's the same fucking thing Super Pop would have said.
Listen, moron.
What? All right.
Difficult bastard.
I can't even work with the man.
Because he's difficult.
Yes, you are difficult. So listen, pump the brakes, Grim. All right, because on my way over here, I'm running out the door.
Wait a minute, the brakes have been pumped.
Woo, woo, woo. On the way out the door, okay? On my way here, you know our mother lives with me.
She does.
She had the news on. And it come to thinking that today is 9/11. Today is 20 years removed from the terrorist attacks on this country. Grim, I know how old you were. Okay.
I wasn't born yet.
Okay. You were not Isaac.
I wasn't born yet.
All right.
I'm 19, idiot.
You were 22 because you're only 2 years older than me.
Listen, my birthday is the day after 9/11.
I know.
Okay? And my birthday, when I turn 29, is always a somber occasion for the last 20 years because 9/11 happened the day before.
Right. It's been rough.
Yes. And so basically, this day is one of the most monumentous days that's ever happened in American history. It's changed the course because now we had a war.
Spawned a lot of things, Grim.
Yes. And you know what I was doing? I was working when this happened. And I was listening to Howard Stern. And Howard Stern had play-by-play on what the hell was happening.
He was right there.
He said, what the fuck, a plane just hit? And I'm just listening to this on the radio. I'm like, wait, a plane? And I'm thinking like maybe a propeller plane.
Right.
And then they said, no, this seemed to be like a big fucking plane. And I said, oh shit, like for real? And I pulled into one of the grocery stores where I was going to be working at. And I went into the manager. I said, yo, something's going on in New York. An airplane just crashed into the World Trade Center. And he says, what the fuck? We go running up the steps into the office, and he puts the TV on, and there it is. And then he goes, oh, look, an instant replay. And we see the plane. I said, that wasn't fucking instant replay. That was the other one.
You saw the second? I didn't know that.
It went,
Jesus.
and then we thought it was a fucking replay. We thought, oh, shit, they had it on film. Oh, they had it on film, motherfucker. And then we said, well, wait a minute. This was no propeller plane. That was an airliner. It happened 2 times. So this is an attack now, okay? And then the news started saying all kinds of crazy shit.
We didn't know what to believe that day. And now we're 20 years later. All right, none of our family was affected, but people have, and they're still battling cancers and such from breathing in, and the survivors.
I was very, very upset because I knew people who were affected by it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the scariest part was the people that I knew that were affected that like worked there that like called out that day.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, I just woke up and wasn't feeling it and stayed in bed and I'd have been dead. I worked on the top floor. You know what I mean?
Well, we just heard that story. Lucky Leo told me his dad was supposed to get a job in the World Trade Center 2 weeks before the attacks. He never got the job.
Lucky man.
Madness, either way.
That's why he named his son Lucky Leo.
Right. Tina, thank you for joining us, all right? Now, I was over here talking to Grim, all right, about today being 9/11, today being 20 years removed from the terrorist attacks on the country. And well,
20 years already?
All right, now he's my brother, all right? So we kind of know each other's tale, but I don't know your tale.
Well, this is kind of awkward because I'm dressed like a demon and I was in Bible school at the time.
So how old were you?
Was I
20 years. How old are you now?
I'm 86,
20.
so 86, 96. I was like 15 or something. Yeah, I was 15 because I just moved from Toms River to Jackson at the time.
There you go. So if you were 35, you just subtract 20, and you were 15.
Yep.
Easy breezy.
It was so awkward because I was in chapel, and then somebody came in from one of the church workers, like, oh, something's going on with in New York right now. I'm like what are we doing? So they brought a radio in. And we just sat there. Instead of doing chapel, we just listened to what was going on.
Right, because Twitter wasn't popping off at that time, right? Giving you the updates of the news of the world. I mentioned that once already. But, so let me ask you, was any of your family affected? Did anybody,
cousins.
Distant cousins lived up that way, worked at? All right, well.
I had some family that worked at the Trade Center, but luckily they weren't working that day.
Oh, good. Lucky them. So the school let you out early?
Yes, yeah, we got out early. Because our families were panicking. We're like, we don't know what's going on.
Right.
We just want to get all the kids home. So that's what happened. Later on, when our troops started going overseas, our school had pizza days on Tuesday, and the local pizza place we used to buy pizza from actually started printing flags on the boxes. So we thought this would be a good fun way to support the troops by cutting out those cardboard flags, and then we would stand on the side of the road after class I think it was like every Friday probably, and then we would just like wave it, and then we had a couple signs up that said we support our troops and things.
Well, you actually bring up a very good point, because if my memory serves me correctly, everybody in the United States at that point got an American flag and was hanging it out of a window on your car. You couldn't find an American flag in the store to buy. You brought up a very good point, a very good memory that I hadn't thought of 20 years later. Either way, Tina, thank you for your tale of what happened during 9/11. Well, I made it back from GTS. That's right, I am home, and I am with my adorable girlfriend, Maria. Babe, listen, we're closing out the night here. I was at wrestling, right? I went to work today. But today, all right, was 9/11. All right, 20-year anniversary of the attacks on America, right? So I got to ask, because I don't know, to be honest with you, right? 20 years ago, how old were you, babe?
18.
Oh, look at that, 18 years old.
Wait.
Senior in high school?
Put my age out there. I was not a senior in high school. I had just started college.
Okay, just a freshman in college. And where were you when you heard the news?
I was sleeping.
You were sleeping?
Yeah.
They woke you up and told you
Yeah.
about it? College burned you out? You should have been in class, probably. It was a Tuesday.
No, I had off that day.
All right, so I know you lived up towards North Jersey. Was any of your family affected in there or around the area?
Not my family, my friend's family.
Yeah, you got people you knew. Ever people die?
Yeah.
That's sad. I'm sorry to hear. But with that being said, we didn't ask Maria. Like I said, we were talking about it. We were remembering the day and whatnot, and I had to get everybody's thoughts on where they were. I met somebody today that wasn't even alive.
Shocking.
Right? Unbelievable. But with that being said, couldn't end the video without talking to my babe and finding out where she was 20 years ago on 9/11. All right, guys, put all of your comments down below. I want to know, how old were you? Where were you when you heard the news, right? Was any of your family affected by it? And how did you feel? Like I said, I didn't get on a plane for years because of it.
You asked me how I feel.
How did you feel about it, babe? How did it make you feel? I'm sorry, I've totally forgot.
Yeah, we lived up north, right by New York City, so we had to go to where there's now a memorial site. Just watching it, crying.
That's so sad. And the days after, did you hang the American flags up?
Everybody did.
Well, I know. Tina reminded me of that. So, yeah, it was crazy.
We saw everything, all the smoke. New Jersey got a lot of their smoke.
You lived up there,
there.
so you watched it from across the river.
But we watched it after the tower fell, yes.
Oof, jeez. All right, guys. Well, again, we want to know all about your experience. Put it down below. How old were you? Where were you when you heard the news? Did you have any family or friends affected by it? And how did all that make you feel? Put it down in the comments. We ain't gonna know unless you leave it down below. My watch right there says we are out of time. Got to get to moving. Like the video, leave those comments if you haven't done it already. Subscribe for some more Duhop. My adorable babe Maria and everybody else that has some fun here.